Hi everyone, welcome to Board of Tanks with stewiejp. I'm Stewie and this is a double shot of M4190, the grand final tanks, the German Bulldog, or the German Shepherd as I like to call it, the new-ish Tier 8 premium light tank, the first Tier 8 premium light tank wargaming have introduced to the game. And it's a German version of the Tier 7 American Bulldog tank. It's not an autoloader, it's a single shot light tank. And in this first game of this double shot, it's my old mate Timbob from What University Southeast Asia clan, and he's playing on Live Oaks, and he's going down to the usual place where all the action seems to happen on Live Oaks. Finds a nice bush and spots a T49, doesn't get spotted himself. Yes, he does, so he puts a clip in, puts a shot in and pulls back into a little bit of cover. That was a pretty big shell that went off not far from where Timbob is. Now Timbob's just playing around this area trying to get some spots on the enemy. The new Tier 9 Batchat is a fair way forward, or the baby Batchat as I like to call it, but he is top tier and he's obviously quite comfortable sitting back there. Now, even though it's a Tier 9 game, it's not a bad matchup for the M4190, the German Shepherd. There's only 3 Tier 9 tanks on the enemy side, and only one of them is likely to be playing at the front, and that's the Type 61. A Conway and the artillery, you would imagine, would be a fair way back. But apart from that, it's mainly Tier 8 tanks. But he is in a light tank, and look, every tank on the enemy side can do damage to the M4190. It is a light tank. But Timbob's just getting a little bit of... He's sitting back looking at the mini-map and working out what's the best thing to do. He's just given the artillery some good advice to relocate because there's absolutely nothing up here. So if the enemy are pushing this way, then those artilleries, which you'd imagine are pretty slow, will be in a world of trouble, and the Ferdinand's pulled right back as well. So this is where the action needs to happen on Live Oaks. This is generally, if you win this flank, you generally win the game. Now it doesn't look like Timbob's using binoculars to help his view range. He might be using coated optics, but he does have a camouflage net to help himself camo up in these bushes and try and get spots for his team. Now, there's a significant number of enemy tanks down here. You can see there's the IS-3, a couple of the Czech TVP VTUs in a platoon. Looks like Artie's just been spotted, probably by the baby Batchat. There's also 1 or 2 tank destroyers being spotted from the enemy side. But look at the mini-map, the little LTTB, another new-ish kind of light tank, has charged through Timbob's cap circle and taken out... No, he didn't take out the artillery. The T54 Mod 1 took out the artillery, which tells me that the T54 Mod 1 must be over there as well. So Timbob's getting a few snipey shots off towards the LTTB, but the LTTB's moved behind the building, so he's going to move back, try and get rid of him, because if that LTTB and the T54 Mod 1 move through, they could probably outflank the Ferdinand and get rid of him, and quite possibly kill the artillery. Auto aims at the T54 Mod 1 but doesn't get the shot away. But it looks like the T54 Mod 1 is getting a bit nervous and pulling back. Probably nervous at the big Ferdinand's gun. Look, the Ferdinand will beat the T54 Mod 1 every time unless the medium tank gets the Ferdinand's sides or back. But the Ferdinand's still on full health, and they do have quite a tough front, and they can often bounce the most unlikely of shots at the front of the Ferdinand. So it looks like the Type 61's there as well as the T54 Mod 1, as Timbob's side lose a couple of tanks on that flank. It looks like some of the tanks have come back here. The IS-3's come back. The TDs are working away down here. But just the vast number of tanks that are in this area on the enemy side tells me that there's not a great deal there. So these guys probably should push into him. Hopefully they do. Timbob puts a shot into that MT25. A little auto-loading Tier 6 Russian tank, which is the one on the way to the LTTB. And he picks up his first kill, getting rid of the Tier 6 light tank. Now Timbob's side have made a little bit of progress on the other flank and taken out the IS-3, which even though it's not tier, it's still a pretty dangerous tank. And now Timbob is trying to creep up around this tree to get some eyes on that Type 61. Type 61's still on full health, so Timbob thinks, well, I'm going to have to shoot him myself here. Looks like the TDs might not have too many shots on it, but someone just took 500 out of him. And another 400. It's always handy when you get rid of a top tier tank. But all of a sudden, have a look at the mini-map. Look on the other side of the map, where it looked like Timbob's side had a definite advantage. It looks like they're at a disadvantage now. It looks like it's a 2 versus 4 scenario down here in the usual main area for where all the action happens on Live Oaks. Now Timbob's got himself into a bit of a corner here. I'm interested to see what he's going to do. The T54 Mod 1 is not on a great deal of health. Type 61's probably on about half health, because he did take maybe a bit less than half health. He did take a couple of shots from those tank destroyers. So he's on 560 out of 1700 hit points. Timbob's trying to sneak around this pillar. No use auto-aiming on him, he's behind a ridge. Now all of a sudden Timbob's side have totally lost the advantage on the other flank, and it's down to... they're down by a tank. It sounds like artillery might have just fired. I don't know if they did any damage. Type 61 is edging towards Timbob. Timbob's trying to use his camouflage rating to remain hidden and to keep that Type 61 lit. A little bit of anger going on in the chat. He's double bush, so that Type 61 shouldn't have seen him. T49 takes out the German artillery, and they're down by 2 tanks. So it's a 6 versus 8 scenario right now. Timbob's still on a reasonable amount of health. He's on nearly 800 out of his 1100 hit points. ANZAF boys aren't too happy. They only picked up 1 kill between them. And not only does the top tier Tier 9 Waffenträger get killed, so does the other light tank, the Bulldog, the American Bulldog. But in that exchange, the Ferdinand took out the T54 Mod 1, the Russian Tier 8 premium tank, which I played a few games with last night. It's not a bad tank at all. Gets the Black Prince down to 16 hit points, but we lose another tank. The M12 gets killed, the other artillery, but the enemy Type 61 gets taken out as well. Unlucky bounce on the Black Prince, but the Ferdinand finishes the job. But now it's just the Ferdinand and Timbob. You would think in this situation, not looking good at all, but the Ferdinand's on pretty high health, so's Timbob's not on a bad amount of hit points. The T49 is a one-shot. Not anymore. The T49's gone. Now it's 2 versus 4. But the Conway turns up, and the Conway was on full health. The good thing for Timbob is the Conway doesn't have much armour at all, and it looks like they're both of those tanks, or all 3 of those tanks, are focused on the Ferdinand, which is probably not the right thing to do. I'd be more inclined to get rid of the light tank first, but looks like the AMX M445 is going to try a different angle. He's only a Tier 7. Timbob takes him out of the game, but unfortunately he loses the Ferdinand in the process. The Conway, that Conway's got a really good gun on it. I've got one, and it's fast firing. It does about 500 damage a shot, and only about 6 seconds between shots. So Timbob has to be pretty careful here. He could probably afford to take a hit from one of these tanks, but not all of them. He gets rid of the TVP before he can fire, And he keeps moving away from the Conway's gun, puts a shot into him, but now he's stuck on those bits of concrete. Who's going to shoot first? He fires high explosive at Timbob, kills his driver, damages his turret, takes him 466 hit points, but Timbob picks up his 5th kill. All of a sudden, at the start of this game, I thought, gee, he's not really doing much, but he's being patient and he's waiting for his right opportunity, which is exactly what he did. He knew he was going to get probably shot once by that Conway, but he had the 800 or just under 800 hit points there to take the shot, and he knew that his reload should have been better, and his speed to get around and do the circle of death on the British Tier 9 tank destroyer. Did an excellent job against that Conway. And now it's time to find the artillery, and I like what Timbob's doing here. It would be tempting to go straight up the railway line and thinking, oh well, maybe the artillery will be sitting up here somewhere. But with the big push that was happening, it's not inconceivable that the arty would have moved into the city, because the enemy side took the city so quickly and moved down here. That's probably where the arty's going to be. And there he is. Auto aims, puts a shot into the Batchat 15555. I suppose that's what you call them. And I think it's a one shot. He zooms right up. Obviously got the zoom out mod, which can be handy in these kinds of situations. Trying to work out which way that Batchat's going, which way his gun's facing, because I dare say if that artillery shoots him, he's going to be gone for all money. There he is again. The gun's facing the wrong way. Timbob says, "You beauty. Keep your gun facing that way, son, and I'll come after you now." The gun's turning towards Timbob. Is he going to beat it? Yes, he is. What a finish. 6 kills, top gun, and absolutely carries that game. And not only carries that game, but picks up a very handy mastery badge as well as a top gun. As we look at the battle, he gets all of these little medals that you often get in games: an ace tanker mastery badge, a top gun, of course, and top scores, comfortably top scores, over 2,500 damage, 6 kills, 1,269 base experience, 1,165 spotting damage, and not a bad profit of all, over 73,000 credits. Of course, that's with a premium account, and it's in a premium tank. Picked up 6,000 experience, but that was with a ×3, when there was a ×3 thing going on. And we move on. It was a double shot, so we're moving on to our second game of a double shot of the Tier 8 German premium tank, the M4190. And this is the first replay ever been sent to me by Drakothyl. I'm tipping that's how you say Drakothyl. I'm probably going to call him Drak, because he sent me a few replays. I look forward to doing them all in time. Now he's in the same tank, the M4190 Grand Final tank. It's a tank that I bought when it came out as a bit of a crew trainer and a credit grinder for when I was going for some of my light tank missions, and to train up my German light tank crew. Now this is in encounter mode, and he's on Erlenberg. And he's going into a very, very aggressive spotting position to try and light up whatever the enemy might be pushing along this side. But I've noticed myself on Erlenberg of late, whoever spawns north generally push down this way. Whoever spawns south generally push up this way, and it's a bit of a you stay that side and I'll stay this side kind of battle. But anyway, Drak is getting some spots for his team, and he's looking for a sneaky shot on that Jag Tiger. I think he's probably pretty comfortable thinking that he's not going to get spotted if he fires, and he wants to put some damage into that tank, pick up some damage and credits in this beautiful credit earner, the German Tier 8 M4190. Now you can see the rectangles turned green, which means he does have a shot on that T54 Mod 1, or he did, but it looks like the T54 Mod 1's moved off the cap, and now artillery's telling the team that is aiming at the Jag Tiger. A little bit nervous to shoot at this point in the game, which is exactly the right thing to do. Look at the map. He's got all of his tanks behind him who could take shots. So why would a light tank do it? It looks like there's 2 tanks capping, but 2 tanks capping in encounter mode takes a full minute and a half, I believe. Just waiting for somebody to make a move. Puts a shot into the T54 Mod 1. He's thinking, well, no one else is going to do it, so I may as well do it. With the amount of tanks down here, he's probably confident that there's nobody here who might be able to spot him. So he's going to get a couple of free shots of damage. And in the process, reset the cap. There's only 1 tank on the cap now. Now there's 2 again. It's back down to a minute. It's a bit of a waiting game, bit of a cat and mouse. Needs to be wary of this bat chat that's up here, but I think if this bat chat's going to be very reluctant to push up this side. Takes the Scorpion G down to 1 shot and actually kills him, takes him out of the game. Always good to kill a Scorpion G. For a premium tank, they're pretty nasty business. Now Drak's just kicking back. He's picked up a kill, and he's just kicking back thinking, what can I shoot at next? But all of a sudden there are 3 tanks capping and the cap timer is down to 20 seconds. Now it's back to 2. Of course, in encounter mode, you don't need to shoot the enemy tank to stop the cap timer. You just need to stick yourself onto the circle. Now it looks like the M48 pattern as well as the E75 are going to take care of that Jag Tiger that Drak had spotted earlier. And Drak's doing the right thing here, just staying on the cap circle, making sure they don't cap. They're up to 79% on the cap timer. The Jag Tiger gets killed, but the enemy Bulldog kills the E75, the T9 German heavy tank. Now he moves around the cap circle a bit. Oh, Drak, he's just trying to work out what's around here. There's obviously a lot of tanks around here. Look at the minimap. There's an OHO, a grill, which we need to be careful of the grill. They're very dangerous tanks. There's also the baby Batchat, the T9 French autoloader, the Spic, and the T54 Mod 1. And that Tier 10 Batchat could be anywhere now. He was last spotted up at B6. Now the fact that it's still flashing red, the cap timer, tells me that there's at least 1 enemy tank still in the circle. So if Drak and or that IS-3 need to stay on that circle to stop that timer going again. Unfortunate to cop a high explosive shell from the OHO, taking nearly 400 hit points of damage off him. But fortunate in that he landed in a place that was relatively safe, so he didn't need to use his repair kit. Artillery has a crack, and Drak's probably thinking, well, this IS-3 is just going to sit here, so he can be the one that stops them capping. I'm going to move around and try and get some spots on the rest of the enemy team. We're down by a tank. It's 2-3. It looks like there's a few enemy tanks down in the corner. There's the M41 Bulldog. There's also the baby Batchat. There's a good chance that there'll be an artillery down there as well. 4 artilleries on the enemy side. And since everyone spawned in this area, you'd think the enemy artillery would be on the 0 line somewhere. So now Drak's getting a little bit more confident. He's got the Centurion 1 helping him, as well as the M48 pattern, the Tier 10 American medium tank, who's got most of his health left. He's been spotted though. Who's spotting him? That Bulldog, that cheeky little Bulldog. I've got another replay coming of the American Bulldog, which is quite an entertaining game as well. But the artillery takes the Bulldog out. It was very kind of the Bulldog to stop moving and to stay in the one place, even though he was spotted, which the artillery driver would have said, "You beauty, I'll take that. That'll be a free kill for me." Now it looks like both sides are still sitting in the cap circle, but Drak's just going to relocate. There's some big guns left on the enemy side. It looks like quite a few of them are near the cap circle. but there's quite a few that haven't been spotted yet, including 4 big artilleries. Well, one's a tier 7, but they're all big. If you're in a light tank, any artillery is a big artillery. So the score's back to 3 apiece. Drax just noticed that he's got shots on that Oho, but it's going to be tough to penetrate from that angle. Also notices he's got shots on the grill. Now the grill, not hard to penetrate at all. Gets a shot into him, brings his damage up to 1287, which isn't too bad for any light tank. And now he's just looking for opportunities. His team is crumbling around him though. He's down 3 to 6, now 4 to 6. And looking at the map, his team's spread out all over the place. It's not looking that good. You know, the IS-3 is pretty much stuck in that circle. The IS-3 probably isn't going to dish any damage out, but he's stopping them capping, I suppose. But the base cap with one of those kills has gone down to 27% now, rather than, you know, it was on 79% for some time. Now it's a bit of a patience game here, a bit of a cat and mouse game. As Drak comes up, and I think he's going to cross the water. No, he's not. He's seen the Bat-Chat, so he shoots him. And you'd imagine the Bat-Chat would aim at a light tank. You see a light tank in a Bat-Chat, and you think, I'll have that. But all of a sudden, the Jagdpanzer E100 with that big derpy gun takes out the Bat-Chat, and Artie takes out another tank, the T-54 Mod 1, which I think was spotted on the other end of the map. Now the LTTB on Drak's side looks like he's in a bit of trouble. He's got the baby Bat-Chat and the Spic giving him a bit of grief. And of course, though, with 2 auto loaders, doesn't matter how good you are in your LTTB, you're gone for all money. So now Drak's moving down to maybe try and help that Centurion. It looks like nobody's on the cap circle now because the timer's totally clear. Runs around behind the tier 9 Russian artillery. Oops, sorry about that. No, you go first. No, you, I insist. Moving along, looking for some snipey shots while he's on the move. His team is still in a bit of a trouble though, and so's Drak. Drak's only down to 241 hit points. The score's 6-8. He's definitely done his job though. He's done nearly 1400 damage. He's looking for ways to improve on that. He nearly had shots on that Spic, but it was maybe just a little bit too fast. Bad news for the Centurion 1 and bad news for Drak's team. The Centurion 1 gets killed. I think the Centurion 1 was doing a reasonable job there, spotting those other tanks that were down where that baby Bat-Chat's just been lit up by Drak. But I think the Centurion 1 was sort of in a bit of a position where if he couldn't go forward and he couldn't go backwards, he would have been dead either way. So Drak's just looking to use his view range. He's looking to work out where the enemy are. That Rheinmetall Borsig Tier 8 German tank destroyer hasn't been spotted yet. And of course either of 3 out of the 4 artilleries. There's the baby Bat-Chat again. Fires and misses. Score being 6-9. And there's only 4 minutes left in the game. Enemy artillery has a bit of a brain fart there. Wonder why he's going there. Why would... No idea why the enemy would go there, but... Drak's on a mission, you can see, where he needs to spot and damage 3 arties. Oh, no idea if he is successful in this game doing that, but it's just something I noticed earlier. Damages and tracks the arty. Arty fixes his tracks and moves on, and gets killed by the arty on Drak's team. Looks like the enemy team are trying to cap again, but the IS-3 sticks his toe back in the circle. And the score is now 7-9. Drak's picked up 1,662 damage according to the damage counter. And now the baby Bat-Chat is going for a bit of a YOLO run. Drak probably can't afford to take a shot from him. Does he have shots? Does the Batchat have shots on Drak? He's only on 241 hit points. I don't know how much damage the baby Batchat does. I think the Lorraine did not, around about 400 or maybe a bit less. But he's on 241. I'd be pretty confident in saying that a tier 9 medium tank would do more than 241 damage a shot. The Drak's getting up on top of this mound where he can try and outvision the baby Batchat. Has a shot. Unfortunately misses. 2 minutes and 45 seconds to go. The score's 7-9. What's going to happen here? Turns on the trusty auto aim, and the Scorpion G finishes, puts the finishing touch on that baby Batchat, the Batchat 25T AP. Don't know what AP stands for. Armour piercing. I don't know. Brings the score back 8-9 with just over 2 minutes to go. And I know what Drak's thinking now. He's looking at the mini-map. He's looking at who's left. The grill's spotted up at B1. So he knows that he can charge across this water. He's not going to face the grill. He might face the Spic. He might face the AMX 1375. 2 autoloaders. I don't know if he wants to face 2 autoloaders. But if he gets past them, then he will be into artillery territory. Spic fires and misses. Drak doesn't. Drak fires and hits. Spic fires and misses again. Then he gets tracked, but that's alright. That was his last shot in his clip, but it doesn't matter because Drak kills him anyway. Very lucky that his tracks ate the shot. But the German Shepherd, the German M4190 Bulldog, it's a bit like that. It's got those pretty strong tracks for a light tank. You can often bounce shots or let the tracks eat the shots, and quite a bouncy turret as well. But he's going for a little bit of an arty run here. He's going to see if there's any more artilleries down here in this corner. He's looking around. Looks like there's nothing. The RHM was spotted up at D7. Grill at B2. So it's only artillery up here. Now remember, he's on this mission to spot and damage 3 artilleries. He's damaged 2. He just spotted that one. Now the last 2 artilleries have not been spotted yet, and there they are. So he's spotted all 3 of them. So puts 1 shot into the British artillery, shoots and kills the American artillery. So to me, that tells me he probably finished his mission in this game as well. He's firing high explosive, and of course he's got all the time in the world. He's got the speed to stay away from the big gun in those artilleries. And now with 20 seconds to go, can Drak's team finish off the grill? I don't think Drak will be able to get there in time, but it looks like it's a Scorpion and a Lorraine versus that grill, and the IS-3 is still capping. The IS-3 really should have joined the fight. He hasn't got time, but Scorpion takes out the grill as Drak's team wins with seconds to go. As we look at the post-game battle results, a massive game from Drakothyl from ANZAF clan. He's picked up the Pascucci's medal, awarded for the destruction of 3 enemy SPGs, which is what he did. That was good. And it looks like he might have... Did he spot all 3? He spotted the British, he spotted the American, and he spotted the Lorraine. So I'm tipping this is the game where he won. He got that mission for the light tanks to spot and damage 3 enemy artilleries. But looking at all those tanks that he spotted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He spotted 7 tanks. That's nearly half, and he got spotting damage on a few of them, and he did a heap of damage himself, which is what gave him the mastery badge. Of course, the Pascucci's medal for killing 3 SPGs, fire for effect fighter, bruiser, and spotter damage. Looking at the second page of the post-game battle results, a massive result in the tier 8 heavy, 3,185 damage, 5 kills, and a base experience. That's with no multipliers. Base experience of 1,428 damage. He fired 24 shots, 18 of them hit, 16 of them did damage. That might not sound that accurate, but bear in mind he was firing at tanks that were ducking in and out of cover, and there was a few shots there that you're mad if you don't take them, because on those occasions that you do, they're going to hit. And this is one thing I love about this tier 8 premium tank. The profitability, 113,232 credits as a bottom line profit. That's in a premium account, and of course it's a premium tank as well. Thanks very much, Drak. That was an awesome replay. Drak and Timbob in their German M4190 grand final tanks, or what I like to call the German Shepherds. Black Dog Blitz. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed these replays. I've certainly enjoyed making them. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Take care, and I'll see you all next time.